From the heart of Charlotte, where dreams take root and communities thrive, DreamKey Partners proudly presents this year's Legacy Award to Ted Fillette and Chaffen Rash. Witnessing DreamKey Partners' collaborative efforts to make an impact and transform lives, Betty and Ted were also instrumental in shaping the history of Charlotte through advocacy for safe and affordable housing throughout their careers. Embracing the past, impacting the present, and envisioning the possible, DreamKey Partners celebrates an unwavering advocate for tenants and equitable housing rights. Retired attorney Ted Fillette and former Mayor Pro Tem and civic leader Chaffen Rash. Chaffen Rash is a distinguished leader in community development, affordable housing, civic leadership, and politics. She began advocating for women's political rights with the League of Women Voters of Charlotte-Mecklenburg. Betty was one of the founders of the Women's Political Caucus in the early 1970s. Elected to the Charlotte City Council in 1975, she became the first woman to serve as Mayor Pro Tem and the third woman elected to the council.
What motivated me to enter public service was actually the formation of an organization called the Women's Political Caucus. And at that point, there were very few women serving on either the city council or the county commission. And we were not only attempting to get more women to run for political office, but also encouraging the city and the county to appoint more women to major boards and commissions.
Betty's commitment to public service and her ability to bring together diverse groups of people to achieve common goals and equal representation in the political arena made her a powerful advocate for her constituents.
Chaffen Rash and I go way back before the Charlotte, when we served on the Charlotte City Council. And we became colleagues back then. Betty was always concerned about affordable housing. She was always concerned about the issue of those who were the least among us, and I shared those concerns.
I was involved in working at the state level for the creation of the North Carolina Housing Trust Fund, of a North Carolina Housing Coalition, and that really pulled the state into the whole issue of low-income housing, affordable housing.
Ted Fillette, also vested in people having a safe and affordable place to live, has been instrumental in landmark cases that set precedents in housing law and has dedicated his career to protecting tenants from unfair practices and ensuring access to safe, affordable housing. Driven by a strong sense of justice for the economically disadvantaged, Ted is a leading advocate for housing rights.
I always remember Ted Fillette. When I was mayor of this city, we had this public speaking portion of the meeting in which we allowed citizens to come forth. Ted was a regular member of the open mic portion of our city council meetings. And he was always there speaking of the plight of those who were poor people in this community. Ted Fillette was its most vocal and articulate spokesperson representing the plight of poor folks who were subject to evictions, many times from their units. He was always interested in whether we were going to build affordable housing. So he cared about people, and he cared about the folks who were the least among us.
What brought me to the role of being a housing advocate was my first legal job at the Legal Aid Society of Mecklenburg County. And in 1974, they assigned me to be the housing specialist. And what really motivated me to do this work for the rest of my career was being confronted with the shocking legal injustices that tenants suffered and the conditions that were on the ground in Charlotte in 1974, just 50 years ago. I was assigned to be the first housing lawyer at that office, and it took me a couple of months to learn what the legal environment and the physical circumstances of low-income housing in the community were about, and it was shocking.
Ted Fillette played a significant role in writing and advocating for the rights of tenants under the Residential Agreement Act and subsequently the Retaliatory Eviction Defense Act, enacted by the General Assembly. He spent countless hours training magistrates and judges to understand and follow legal statutes. Betty and Ted's involvement with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership was a natural progression of their plight to address housing inequities and the need for all individuals and families to have access to safe and affordable homes.
Our task force grew out of an organization called the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Citizens Forum, which was initiated by the Urban Institute at UNC Charlotte. One of the issues that were identified by this group was, in fact, the need for more low-income housing.
I recall when I was finishing up my term as mayor, I helped to promulgate a housing conference that looked at affordable housing because it was becoming increasingly more an issue. Out of that symposium that was held probably in 1987, it's been so many years ago now, the housing partnership was born. The city was growing, and so was the need for more affordable housing and addressing the issue of homelessness.
I became involved with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership through my association with Chaffen Rash and City Council member Don Carroll. Back in 1988, when the first board was formed.
Catherine Norman Heath and Betty met with Mayor Harvey Gantt to receive some input on the task force's proposed Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership, and he appeared to be quite receptive to the idea and felt that the partnership should take on the role of producing housing.
The formation of the partnership created as a legal entity was, I guess, in '89, and that's when we hired our first executive director. Mecklenburg Housing Partnership, once established, played a major role in pulling all of the organizations together to begin to create a comprehensive plan.
DreamKey has pretty much set the standard for what quality, affordable housing for renters and home buyers should be, and for that reason, its reputation now has created a legitimacy for affordable housing that historically did not exist.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership, now DreamKey Partners, is still a major player. So I can look back on the creation of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership and take a great deal of pride in the role that I played in creating that entity.
It's amazing how much influence a small number of determined people can have to change the course of some parts of history.
Betty Chaffen Rash and Ted Fillette have left an undeniable footprint on Charlotte's history of affordable housing. Their contributions and advocacy continue to inspire the present and encourage the exploration of future possibilities.